I got a YouTube request about this glue jig. I done a couple of videos earlier this year where I was clamping some maple tops to mahogany bodies with high glue, which you have to be as quick as possible. So some time ago I developed this jig, which is to minimize the time that you get all of your pressure onto the wet glue, because with high glue you only really have about a minute before it starts gelling up, crystallizing and so on. And you get a crappy joint, right? The other concern too with any type of glue is not clamping enough that the glue in the middle of the body goes down well to the bit below. Because if you have G-clamps like this, just going around the perimeter of the guitar, or use, what I used to use is like a couple of hardwood 2x4s that just had threaded rods on either end, you know, and put a few across the body like that. You would always end up biting down more on the edges than in the middle. Now it's nice to have a nice clean glue line around the edges, but if for some reason you have glue collected in the middle and it's not completely flush, you get like a pocket layer of flexible glue. If not an air gap, which I doubt you'd get an air gap, but I think a glue gap with something like yellow glue would still be a rubbery layer that could ruin guitar bodies, real resonance, you know. So this came to mind from something I saw online. Saw people changing Formula 1 car tires or something. Gave me an idea. And what this is a welded grid of bolts in a frame that you can slip a body into, right? And there's a caveat to this, so watch this all the way through before you run out and build one of these, right? So you put this body, whether in outline form like this, or with still in rectangular form, and you would want to put this in between layers of plywood, right? So that the metal surfaces of the clamp don't bite into the bottom. So you'd slip this in with this plywood top and bottom, and using a drill with the socket and ratchet setting, be able to apply downward pressure on the whole grid of points as evenly and as quickly as possible. What I would do, first thing to note, is that I would sort of start in the middle and then work my way outwards. So any glue buildup here in the middle of the body would be pressed outward, and I would never have a danger of starving the glue joint, because no matter how much pressure I'm going to put on this, with that huge surface area, there's no way that you're going to push all the glue out and create a starved joint. It's just not going to happen. So you start in the middle, get a nice flat joint between top and body, and then you get a nice biting top to bottom glue line all the way around, right? Now I've built in a certain size. Yes, sometimes I get a horn sticking out, which I could always use an extra G-clamps to deal with, right? So that's not a problem. So basically, this is just the fastest, quickest, neatest way to do a glue, top glue up, right? And it's just stacks anyway out to do when I'm done with it, right? Now a few warnings about this, right? When building this is built with hollow square steel here to put the bolts through, and how they're threaded is simply welded nuts to the underside. The nut has to be on the underside because the pressure is going back up when this is threaded down, right? If you were to weld the top here, that nut would pop right off with a lot of use and pressure, right? So make sure you have your threading below, if not all the way through somehow. And then the rest is done with solid rods. But the problem with this is that these pieces here, when all these are down and the body is being clamped all the way down, the accumulated pressure can bend these really badly. I just don't think it's going to happen when I look at this. It's so rigid when I built it and I checked it out. But trust me, if I glue up a body now, this would be bending like a smiley face, right? From that accumulated pressure. So what I do now is that of course would cup your guitar body while it's being clamped, and if you left it to dry like that, you'll end up with a cup on your body, right? So I noticed it happening, and I had to, of course, stop and undo everything at that particular job. But what I do now is I have a few pieces of steel that are already same thickness, a couple of steel bars that I just lay here when I put in the body with the plywood. So those handle the horizontal rigidity. But if I was building this again, I would go out of my way to get some extra steel here, or much thicker pieces of steel. I'm even thinking of getting maybe a granite slab or concrete tile or something that's flat and going to stay flat, so that the floor and the body stays dead flat horizontally no matter how much pressure I put on it. Right? So that's the main alteration I would make to this. Besides that, when the bolts go down, remember that even when you have the plywood piece blocking the body from any damage, this is twisting its way down. So depending on the thickness of the bolt you use, I put a little nut at the end here, but what I should really do is get some 1-inch square flats and weld them on here, so that when these touch down onto the plywood, they would start putting the pressure down rather than eating their way into the plywood, because if they twist into it, you're losing pressure, you're losing that downward pressure as the wood yields. So you want some sort of nut or flat piece here, or a couple of steel straps that you could put across on top of the plywood as you're doing the job, and they all kind of bear down onto the steel strap. Something like that, something that wouldn't get eaten into. That's about it. When you build one of these, you could choose what surface area you want to deal with, how many of these you put in, and how closely you space the bolts. This is perfect for me. If I have a horn sticking out here and there, I could always do the G-clamps. But I wouldn't mind, maybe I should have built this with one more row. That would have been just more than enough, right? And even when I put a guitar in, anytime I put a guitar into this, if I have glued it out in outline form rather than rectangular form, I've always been able to place it so that these bear down right on an edge, on an outline edge, so that I always get a good perimeter pressure, so I can get that tight glue line. So if you're doing a body that doesn't have binding, then there's no way to hide the edge of the glue seam of the top to the bottom. You always have a tight line going all the way around, and very important. So that's it for now. I hope you all enjoyed this jig video, and if you want to make your own, just heed the warnings I'm giving you, and if you figure out anything else, want to make a comment, please do so. Alright?